Hi, I'm Paul. I'm from Manchester in the UK originally, but I live here in beautiful Bondi Beach, Australia. I guess, an entrepreneur. I'm setting up a new business. It's a wine bar and wine store, hopefully opening in about 2 weeks here in Sydney. Well, I chose to live here in Bondi. I mean, look at it. Look at the weather. This is the main reason. I'm from Manchester, where the clouds are here. You can really have to duck your head to get underneath the clouds. And when I had the opportunity with work to move here about 5.5 years ago, my company asked me to move here. And I was living in America, in the United States at the time, in Chicago, where the snow is up to here. So from the rain being here, the clouds being here, and the snow being up to here, and then suddenly I can live here and enjoy the beautiful beach. I, it was a great opportunity. So that's why I chose to live here. The weather, the outdoors lifestyle is what keeps me here. I think the challenges that everyone faces are pretty similar, actually. I think the same challenges are there every day and for every person, and that really is just how to manage your time. We all have so many demands on our time, whether it is work or family or social life or Facebook or other distractions like that. And the question is, how much time do you apportion to each part of your life, whether friends, family, relaxing, and that can be social partying, or it can be surfing or running or exercise, and then a business, a career. And so, you're trying to create a balance, and not everyone gets it right. Not everyone gets it right every day. Certainly I don't, but that's the biggest challenge. When you wake up every day, there is going to be 15 or 16 hours until you go to bed that night. How are you going to spend that time? That's the biggest challenge for me every day. Well, I grew up in Manchester and worked in the UK until I was 27. I worked for Accenture, management consulting firm, and then left there after 4 years. Moved to this. I wanted to do an MBA, so I moved to the United States to do my MBA. And I was intending just to stay in Chicago for 2 years, and then returned to the UK. But 11 years later, I still haven't really returned to the UK. So I ended up staying in Chicago and working for a company there called the Bradford Exchange, and that was the company that moved me here to Australia. So I worked for them for 8 years, 4 years in Chicago, 4 years here in Sydney, and then, but always I really wanted to work for myself, and that, I guess I was just, all of my career steps were kind of just a step on the way to trying to find a way to do that. Consulting is a good way, a good first job, a good way to start your career, and the Bradford Exchange was a good experience in terms of managing a business, but somebody else was paying for it, I suppose. So I was managing a part of the business, but so it felt like my own business, but it wasn't financially my own. So, but eventually I kind of found the idea and found the balls to do it, and this is it. So now is the big question: is it going to work? If it doesn't work, then I have to go and find a real job like everybody else. But for now, that's it. I don't have a boss anymore, which is great. What motivates me every morning to get up is, again, living here by the beautiful beach here. And if you don't get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and run down to the beach, then maybe you're going to miss the dolphins, maybe you're going to miss the beautiful sunrise. And some days when I stay in bed, I think, okay, I'm going to have a relaxing morning and stay in bed, and then an hour later on Facebook there are pictures of the dolphins and the sunrise, and everyone's had the best day of their life that morning, and that was the day you stayed in bed. So you don't want to risk missing that. So that was what makes me jump out of bed. That's what motivates me to get out of bed. But more generally, with my business, I do. I think we can change the way, without going into great detail, I think we can change the way that wine is sold in this country. It's dominated by a couple of companies that really don't treat the producers very well, and actually don't really look after the customers very well. They slash the prices for everyone, and really just focus on the price. And if we focus on different things, I think we can create more value for the customer, for the producer, for everyone in the supply chain. It doesn't have to be just the lowest price wins every time. That's my motivation to try and make a change there. It's a good question, but it's a question, simple question, but a lot of people struggle with it, right? What makes you happy? And I think it's, again, I go back to what I said earlier, it's about the priorities and it's about deciding what you're going to do, and people get so focused on certain things or obsessed with certain things and looking at other people and not really focusing on what actually makes them happy. For me, it's simple things like, again, being by the beach, being in the nice weather, being in the surf, being with the dolphins, being close to nature, I guess, more generally. And of course, family and friends, and business. But it's the three things in balance. You can't have all business. At the moment, I'm just working all the time on the business, but that's okay for a short period of time, but you can't do that forever. It makes me happy to see progress, but if I just did that and without the other things, nothing's in balance. Same if you just took time off and spent time in the sun and on the beach. It's great for a while, but you need something else to motivate yourself. So I think finding balance, finding the right balance is what makes everyone happy.